Well, greetings to you. My name is David Wyrick, and I serve on the Central Region Executive Board. I also live in Akron and am part of the Great Trail Council on the board there, but your neighbor to the north. But I've been to many of your BPIs, and it's always a pleasure to be with the Buckeye Council for your annual BPI. Different this year? Yeah, we have to admit that one, unfortunately. But, you know, it's like a rainy day camp out. You just go to plan B. It's just been a long rainy day camp out with this pandemic. Hey, we're going to talk about retention hacks. As I have here on the screen, it says to recruit's one thing, and recruiting is a totally different course all on its own. But retention, that's the key to keeping your units going. And so this course, we're going to look at some ideas, several ideas. I got 12 of them for you, which are going to keep scouts in the program. So I got a question for you. What is retention? You hear it all the time. Well, it's the act of keeping in possession or use. It's the act of, holding or securing or keeping intact. And our goal is to keep scouts in the program, right? Yeah, that's our goal. Just like any restaurant you go to, they want to retain customers. Any store you go to, they want to retain customers. Business want to retain customers. Scouting, we want to retain. We want to keep scouts in the program. That's me back when I joined scouting back in 1967. Yeah, like the dorky glasses. But I stayed in the program. It was great. I got in the Order of the Arrow, served as lodge chief, section chief. I loved the Order of the Arrow, still do. Served on the camp staff at the Manitowoc Reservation for many summers. And I'm still involved with scouting years later and still wear the dorky glasses. And I've been staying in the program because I love it. And I'm able to be a product of the program. And we have the important obligation, the duty to keep scouts in the program through retention. So let's look at some numbers. And I'm afraid these aren't very good. Back in 1972, we had 6.5 million scouts. The U.S. population was 210 million. 3.1% of the population were scouts. That's incredible. 2019, we don't have the 2020 numbers yet. 2019, we had 2.1 million scouts. U.S. population, 329 million, so that's about 0.64% were scouts. That's a 56 plus increase in population and a 67 plus decrease in scouts. Now, if we wanted to have the same number of scouts as we did in 1945, which would be, 1.5% of the scouts, because that's about where our numbers are now, same numbers that we had in 1945, we would need to make that same impact that we had in 1945, we would need to add another 3 million scouts. So to make that same impact today of 3.1% of the population that we had in 1972, we'd have to add another 8 million scouts. Now, those are 2019 numbers. We don't have the 2020 numbers, but I can tell you, 2020 membership stats, they're going to show at least a 40% decline in our scouts and leaders nationwide. That's due to the fact that we lost the LDS scouting program. That's due to the fact of the ongoing lawsuit that we had due to the pandemic. We're going to take a big hit. Be prepared for that. It makes retention even more important than ever. Right, we're Ohioans, right? We're Buckeyes. We know what that is, right? Perry's Monument, right there, up there on Lake Erie, and that's the International Peace Memorial. And if you know anything about the history of the War of 1812, that was a huge battle that was won there. Perry's statement, "Don't give up the ship." They were able to win. His famous quote, "We have met the enemy, and they are ours." Okay, well. Fast forward to the 1960s, a comic strip named Pogo, written by Walt Kelly, unfortunately is passed in the comic strip, but it was an amazing comic strip. He had a classic strip once that really set a tone for us to think about. And Pogo, you see there on the right, of course they're looking at pollution in One guy said, it's hard walking on this stuff. And yep, son, we've met the enemy and he is us. Picking up on that statement of Commodore Perry. We've met the enemy and he is us. We can be our own enemies. We can beat ourselves. And we all know that from being around here, right? Those terrible, terrible seasons with the Cleveland Browns and the agony that we would see. But my goodness, so much better this year. But we can beat ourselves. We can be our own worst enemy. So keep that in mind as we start talking, because there are things we can proactively do to retain our scouts. So why are they leaving? Why can't we seem to retain them? Well, Voice of the Scout is a program where it's to give us information, gives us data from parents and from scouts themselves. And one of the main reasons, the main reason scouts leave our program, whether it be Cub Scouts, Scouts, BSA, venturing, is the fact they go and they say it was boring and disorganized. Boring and disorganized. And whose fault's that? Yep, we've met the enemy and he is us. Again, keep that in mind as we're talking about, because we don't need to have boring, disorganized programs. If that's the main reason they're leaving, we got to do something about that. All right, let's look at number one. Number one retention hack. Keep the Cub Scouts and you'll get the Scouts BSA. That's simple. Remember that. We know 93% of all Scouts BSA were Cub Scouts. Except now, with the exception of the girls that have come into Scouts BSA, and that will increase the more of them that were involved in Cub Scouts. But 93%, now they didn't maybe stay in, they didn't make it to Arrow of Light, but a huge number of our Scouts BSA were at one time Cub Scouts. And know this, at least two-thirds of our membership is Cub Scouts. So many times we forget that fact, but the majority of our members are Cub Scouts. And we only retain less than 50% of our Cub Scouts through their Cub Scouting career, compared to retaining some councils over 70% of Scouts BSA, Boy Scouts. I still use that term, unfortunately, and I shouldn't. I realize it's Scouts BSA. So forgive me. I got to catch up. I understand that. So Cub Scouts make Scouts. It's critical that Cub meetings and events are fun, exciting, and run with quality. Critical that the meetings and events are fun, exciting, and run with quality. Because Cub Scouts make Scouts. Second thing, meet within 7 days of a registration. As soon as you get a Scout registered, hold an event. Get them excited. You can't register like a Cub Scout in the springtime and say, well, we're not going to meet again until August or September. They're going to lose interest. You register a Scout, have something within 7 days, 2 weeks max, because we know units that hold an event quickly have a higher retention rate. All right? Third hack. There is no second chance at a first impression. The first impression is huge. Ask the people that go to Disney a lot. Disney's got this figured out. You know, you walk into any Disney park, you're going to see a castle, you're going to see a giant ball, you're going to see this tree of life. You're going to see all kinds of things that are designed to make you go, whoa, give you a great first impression. You ever been to the Grand Canyon? I have. Let me tell you something. That is one place that will not disappoint. You look out the Grand Canyon for the first time and you go, whoa. That is a huge first impression. And remember this, as leaders, everything rises and falls on leadership. So, are lions and parents. I'm going with Lions now. Their first introduction to Cub Scouting. Are they experiencing a sense of awe at the first meeting and beyond? Are those Lions that are coming into that first meeting going, whoa, and their parents are going, whoa, that's amazing. Because you got one shot at this. If it's boring and disorganized, forget it. They're going to leave. They're not going to come back. But if it's really a great first impression, they'll stay in. Units that have consistent leadership with Lions and Tigers have a higher retention rate. Now, what do I mean by that? Because this all goes with having great first impressions. If you can get Lion and Tiger leaders to stay Lion and Tiger leaders and commit to doing that, they'll know what they're doing. The ideal thing would be that you have a Lion leader who has a phenomenal grasp of the program and then stays with those scouts and moves them on and goes with them into Tigers. Then after 2 years, that person goes back with the Lions and goes with them to Tigers. And you have a set of leaders that are constantly rotating because they understand the program and they understand that sense of awe, and they realize that this is the most important stop on the scouting trail for scouts, and they can then, if they have a great experience at those levels, they'll move on and stay with the program. Fourth hack, get the physical handbook into their hands as soon as possible. The physical handbook. Don't just say, well, you can go online and get it. No, you give them the physical handbook. They got it right there in front of them. And give it to mom and dad so they can read it first and look at it. And they can get their son or daughter excited. We know that probably greater than 25% of Cub Scouts aren't getting any handbooks that we know of. Now, we know that from sales at scout shops. We also know that from online, but they're not even getting the handbook. The physical handbook. Smart units will pay and buy those in advance and hand them out ASAP. Units that give a physical handbook as soon as possible have a much higher retention rate. Number 5, get the scout to Bobcat as soon as possible. Bobcat's like the first rank. It gives a sense of accomplishment to the young man, to the young woman. And how tough is it to earn Bobcat? Well, you got to learn and say the Scout Oath with help. They don't have to memorize it. Learn and say the Scout Law with help. They don't have to memorize it. Show the Cub Scout sign. Whoa, tell what it means. Cub Scout handshake. Tell what it means. Cub Scout motto, just say it. They don't have to have it memorized. Show the Cub Scout salute, okay? And then, of course, the very important part of complete the exercise in the pamphlet, how to protect your children. That's for the parent or guardian. Get the scout to Bobcat. Present the Bobcat pin. Make a big deal out of it. Give them something that makes them feel like they've accomplished something. Here's the thing. 2019, we don't have 2020 info yet. Only 51% of Cub Scouts receive Bobcat nationwide. That is just, that's ludicrous. That's unbelievable. Get the scouts to Bobcat. We know that units that assertively move those scouts to Bobcat and present the pin quickly have a higher rate of retention. Next hack, use den chiefs. Den chiefs are huge. They are so important. If you've got a good den chief, those scouts will look up to that girl or boy and just be like, that's a big brother, a big sister to them. It's so important. And look at the den chief. Serves as a scouting role model, promotes scouting in general, encourages a transition to Weeblo, that's a troop leadership position. A lot of people don't realize that. Assists the den leader, and, does all these things, understands the program, knows a variety of activities. Now, a den chief has to be approved by the cub master, the den leader, and the scout master, I believe. But this is a secret weapon. If you've got a great den chief, then you've got it. And we know that units that use den chiefs have a higher rate of retention. So find that den chief. And what's nice is den chiefs, they not only get their own separate patch, they also get a training cord, which is very cool. And I don't think there's any other office, a boy office, a girl office, scout BSA office, that offers that den chief's cord. Anyway, take a look at this video that I found where they honored one of the den chiefs in a troop. Hack number 7. Earn the National Summertime Pack Award. Yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on Cub Scouting. Cub Scouts make Scouts BSA. All right, you get the Cub Scouts, you'll get the Scouts. What do you have to do for that? One activity in June, July, and August. This is not rocket science. With an average attendance of 50%. So many times I hear people say, well, we can't get 50% of them at every event. You don't need 50% at every event. You need an average of 50%. So you may have, like at your first event in June, a whole bunch there, and maybe July, not so many. As long as it averages out to 50% of the rolls, then you've got it. And this is not difficult to get. And there's even pins that you can give to the Scouts for participating in that and earning that Summertime Pack Award. It keeps them going. So many units, it just, oh my gosh, I get so upset with units that knock off at the end of April or the beginning of May and they don't meet again until September. Well, they lose interest in the program. Keep them going with that. Here's a sad statistic. 2019, of course, forget 2020. I mean, we just aren't going to worry about 2020. But in 2019, only 15% of packs nationwide earned the Summertime Pack Award. Holy smokes, we have met the enemy, and he is us. Units that earn that Summertime Pack Award have a higher retention rate. We know this from the numbers. Number 8, get Scout Life in every home. Used to be Boys Life, just changed to Scout Life. Physical magazine. If the physical magazine gets into the home, we know it gets read 4 times. Mom and Dad look at it, siblings look at it, it'll get read. Whereas an electronic version, they've switched Scouting magazine to the electronic version, the Eagles Call. I'm in National Eagle Scout Association. That came out electronic. It doesn't get read as much. I don't read it as much. I don't even see it sometimes. But I got that physical version. It's sitting right there. I can sit down in a chair, look at it, read that thing. That'll be the same in any house. You know, you get kids excited about reading and looking at Scout's life. It's a great magazine. And parents too know what's going on. But we know units with 100% Boys Life, Scout Life have a higher retention rate. Everybody gets it. If it's in the home, it'll be read. Hack number 9, insist on quality roundtables. Roundtables are another one of those secret weapons because they are so important. I'm talking about well planned. I'm talking about lots of program ideas. I'm talking about relative information. I'm talking about tons of fun for leaders. I'm talking about lots of relationship building. It is a secret weapon. Again, if districts get this one figured out, they can retain leaders, retain scouts. And we know that so many times with this secret weapon, that many times, unfortunately, it was boring and disorganized. I'm not going to round table, it's boring. I'm not going to round table, it's no fun. I'm not going to round table, nobody shows up. Well, the reason nobody shows up is because it's boring and disorganized. If you're a district leader, if you're a district roundtable chair, golly, get it going. Roundtable commissioner, that's what I mean. Get that thing moving. Make sure it's good, it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's relevant, so that other leaders will tell other leaders, and more people will come. Retain your leaders, you'll retain your scouts. Number 10, social media for every unit. Probably Facebook. We know that greater than 70% of Americans are on Facebook. It's probably even more now, or maybe less, depending. A lot of people have dropped off because of, certain political things, whatever. I use Facebook. I don't post anything political. I use it for fun and for information. But keep it relevant. Keep the information relevant, informative, lots of photos, and of course, no last names of any scouts when you use lots of photos. So speaking of photos, hack number 11, promote with money shot photos. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, here again is one of those things. We've met the enemy, and he is us. Now, I am a professional entertainer. Well, I haven't worked much this past year, but I do ventriloquism and puppetry. Yeah, I know. But I do a lot of shows, and I do a lot of PR. I have to promote myself and brochures, websites, things like that. And money shots are huge in the business. And if you look at any type of media, you'll see what they call money shots. This is not a money shot, okay? That doesn't say anything other than the fact a bunch of people are watching me. But this is a money shot. See, my reaction, kids standing up, pointing, having a good time. This is another money shot. Kids reacting, having a good time. When you post your pictures, your photos on your social media, you need to have money shots that are going to be pictures that potential parents, potential people will see. Posting them on social media or your website, that's going to get them to be interested. This is not a money shot, okay? It doesn't say anything, just a bunch of kids. This is not a money shot. Too far away, doesn't show any adventure or any fun. This is not a money shot. But I see these. I got these off of troop websites. It's not a money shot. This is not a money shot. It's just a picture. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't show any fun. This is not a money shot. That looks pretty gloomy. It's not something that's going to get people's attention. However, that's a money shot. That shows kids smiling, shows close up, having fun. We don't know where they are, but they're having a good time. That's a money shot. Tug of war, having fun. That's a money shot. Well, there's some adventure right there. Where are they? Well, they're somewhere. That's a money shot. Look at that one. Well, I'm a leader, and I see that. It's like, whoa. You see right in the center are leaders or people or scouts or something looking out on that beautiful sunset and the tents there. That's a money shot. That's a money shot. That shows action. That shows fun. That's what you want to have. You want to have money shots, but you have to take good photos. And the only way to take good photos is take a lot of them. And the only way to take good photos is know a few photo hacks as well. Take a look at this. It's a few minutes long, but I think it'll give you some information that you'll need to get better photos with your phone.
We don't have a tripod because we poor. What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna give you 10 photography hacks for mobile photography, and it's gonna be lit.
Now, these tips might seem a little obvious at times, but I guarantee at least one or two are gonna like blow your mind.
All right, let's get to it.
Bam! All right, so first things first, the first tip is just to clean your lens. Now, I know you're thinking, well, duh, but I don't think you actually clean it. This thing you keep in your pocket, there's lint, there's whatever, gum, stickiness, and it gets super dirty. So if you're ever taking photos and you're like, why does this look so faded? It's because you need to clean this.
All right, the next tip you wanna know how to do is lock your exposure on your phone. On an iPhone, all you have to do is in the native app, press and hold down on the screen, and that will actually bring up this little square and it will lock your exposure. From there, you can slide up or down, depending on if you want more or less. On Android phones, you can also do this. The functionality is just a little bit different depending on your device. This also helps locking the focus. Oh yeah.
Okay, so the next tip is to underexpose your images. Your phone is likely going to overexpose if you're just shooting natively. So err on the side of underexposure so that you can get more data in your images, and it'll definitely help when you're editing.
All right, the next tip is to shoot RAW in your phone. If you didn't know, iPhones and Android phones can both shoot RAW. Basically what it does is it gives you more dynamic grain, it's less contrasty, and it takes away the plastic look of a lot of phones.
Kinda.
Okay, so for the next tip, the biggest thing for me is to change your angle so you're not always shooting at eye level. That is definitely natural to pull up your phone and shoot how you see it. But bending down and shooting up or getting above your subject and shooting down can really switch up the style of photos that you take.
All right, so the next tip is pretty fun one. If you shoot with the 58mm lens, it gives you that natural compression and a deeper look. But if you shoot it with this lens in the pano mode on iPhone or any third-party app, so panoramic mode, you put this on and you do like a micro pan, I call it. It's a good hack to get like a wider shot, but you get that depth, and then you recrop it to however, aspect ratio you want. So it almost looks to me more of like a medium format where you get a larger sensor because you're getting the depth, but also the width. It's a pretty fun hack.
All right, so the next tip is to shoot with grids. Grids are these lines on your phone that basically allow you to line up the horizon line. There's nothing that screams like novice amateur photo than like super tilted, off horizon line, not straight images. So right now I'm gonna shoot a photo of these trees and show you what good straight trees look like and what non-straight trees look like.
All right, next tip, we are here at the airport flying out, but if you wanna film yourself and you don't have a tripod, you can't, for instance, film yourself walking in, you can't set your phone just on this. This is the water bottle or coffee hack. A lot of people have water with them or coffee. You ever at the airport? Anyways, set it down. You can either lean it straight up like that, film yourself, or you can do vertical. So watch this. That's obviously a video, but you can do it for timed photos as well. But yeah, if you film yourself, don't have a tripod, the water bottle / coffee hack.
So the next tip is to avoid shooting directly into harsh light or the sun. And you'll notice that you get a weird green dot or flare somewhere in your image. If you just change your angle even just slightly, that will help get rid of that.
All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
Hack number 12, have amazing frequent court of honors. And I'm talking about amazing ones where scouts are recognized. Okay, first of all though, before the court of honor, start with instant recognition. Present the scout a pin. I'm talking mostly Scouts BSA, but of course this also applies to Cub Scouts as well. But present the Scouts a pin. I love when in Scouts BSA when units will present a pin right away at the end of a meeting. Well, you know, Johnny or Mary finished second class. Here's your second class pin, and you'll get your patch and everything at the Court of Honor. And get those parents involved too as well. Here's the ideal thing. Parents come to the Court of Honor. The second class is presented. The Scout takes the pin off his or her uniform and puts it on mom or dad's brag ribbon. If you're not using those brag ribbons, whatever you call them, where those pins are collected, oh my goodness gracious, there's another one of those hacks. You need to use those. Give those to the parents. So as the Scout advances, the parent has this whole collection of pins on that and wears those to courts of honor. Now, what's great is the fact that what happens then as the Scout pins the pin on that brag ribbon for mom or dad, eventually what happens is mom or dad pins the medal, the Eagle medal, on the Scout. Amazing frequent Court of Honors. Eagle Court of Honors. Arrow of Light Court of Honors. They've got to be phenomenal. And I think it's vital that the Eagle Court of Honors coincide with a Troop Court of Honor if possible, to get the Scouts there to see, to get the Scout parents there to see that amazing Eagle Court of Honor. You can't slough this off. We've met the enemy and he is us. You can't slough this off. It has to be done with quality. And I think it's vital in today's day and age that a video is made of the Scout with pictures collected and done from all the way from tiger or lion or tiger all the way up, so that people are watching and they're going, oh my gosh, look how much he grew, and there's not a dry eye in the house. Final thing, quality brings quantity. Okay? I live in Akron. We got this restaurant called Luigi's Pizza, downtown Akron. The quality's incredible. It's jam-packed all the time. You know, they don't even have to advertise. It's so good because the quality's so good. We have another place, Swenson's. I think you have one in North Canton too as well. Swenson's, they don't have to advertise because the quality's so good. Everybody knows it's a great cheeseburger. It's a great galley boy. It's phenomenal. Well, the quality things that you do in your unit are going to bring the quantity, like those incredible Court of Honors. Top quality, like a crossover, you know, a Weeblo to Scout crossover. Oh my goodness, get the bridge, get members of the Order of the Arrow there. I don't know, get, you know, whoever there. Arrow of Lights crossing over. Quality campouts, even if it's got to go plan B, still quality in all you do, from the second a Scout registers, you know, all the way through. Remember, quality will bring quantity. Again, it's always a pleasure to be with you. If I can help you, or if there's any questions you might have or whatever, there's my email. Pretty simple, crrelates, Central Region Relates @gmail.com.